This is the truth. Doctor's appointments, reality shows, worst of all, support groups.
Christ is our friend and he'll be there to the end.
Hey everybody, what the flick? Get out your handkerchiefs. It's The Fault in Our Stars. Alonso Duralde, Matt Atchity, Christy, Lemire, Ben Mankiewicz. I was out of town and I missed the screening, so y'all can discuss.
Yeah. Oh, right. So The Fault in Our Stars is about a teenage girl, Shailene Woodley, who we all love, who has a particular form of cancer, and she's a loving parent, and she meets a boy who has cancer, who has a friend who has cancer. It is about a lot of young, attractive people who have cancer, and then well, let's take a look, and we'll come back in this.
All right. Hazel, how are you doing?
You mean besides the cancer? All right, I guess.
You need to be a teenager.
If you want me to be a teenager, you don't send me to support group. You gotta give me a fake ID so that I can go to clubs and take pot.
You don't take pot?
That is the kind of thing I would know with a fake ID.
I'm Augustus Waters. I've been in remission for about 1.5 years.
Maybe you'd like to share some of your fears with the group.
Oblivion. What's your name?
Hazel.
Okay, so who here read the book?
You, I think.
I read the
you.
book, yes. And there's a specificity to the language of the book, right? They're hyper-verbal kids, and they're very self-aware, and they don't want to give in to the conventions of the teen cancer genre within pop culture. They're very aware of that. There's something about reading the words that clicks. There's something about hearing them spoken that is very annoyingly precocious. And so some of the dialogue clanged for me. She navigates the complexity of John Green's language much better than Ansel Elgort does. He is stiff and super in over his head and like not there to match her in terms of charisma, in terms of anything. Go ahead.
He was one note the whole time.
He is.
And I thought the movie was too.
Yes.
Really, like it's just I didn't know the book, so. I don't know exactly what happens in the end, but I do now because I saw the movie. So, but you're literally, the whole movie is, and maybe this is, true of part of what they were trying to get to is that this is a story about young people who've lived essentially their whole cognitive lives knowing that death could come at any moment, and how do you deal with that? And that's the interesting, serious part of the movie. But it's like watching a movie where you just are waiting for the other shoe to drop, like the entire time, and it was.
That should be agonizing.
Right, that should be right, but it was agonizing in the wrong way. It was agonizing the way when you watch an annoying movie is agonizing, as opposed to sort of
the pain of
some
life.
sort of empathy and some sort of aching for these kids, which you had through her, because she's just sensational.
Yeah.
She's so good, as she really, I thought, elevated a movie that I think I would have hated with a lesser performer in her role.
You liked it a lot better than we did.
Yeah, I kind of like this movie, and I'm kind of shocked. I went into this not expecting to like it at all and thinking, oh, it's another teen romance, it's gonna be like Endless Love, and I kind of enjoyed myself. It worked for me. I didn't hate the kid playing Gus as much as Ansel Elgort. I thought he was fine. I bought into the dialogue. I thought that they for me, the movie goes right up against the point at where you wouldn't believe kids would speak that way. But I felt like they all sold it that way. I did find that there was more than one note. I thought that it does get a little predictable and a little schmaltzy, but I bought it. Like there was enough good going on that I was okay with this.
Were you choked up? Did you get sad?
Not choked up. I wouldn't say exactly choked up, and I wouldn't say terribly emotionally moved.
Because it wants your tears.
Yeah, what I kind of bought into was that here are characters. I felt like the movie kind of takes characters who don't, at least sometimes, like Shailene Woodley's character Hazel, like doesn't want to be the cancer kid. Like she kind of wants to go through living her life, and I felt like the movie kind of flirts with focusing on just two teenage kids being in love, and I felt like it captured like that. There were quiet moments in this movie where like up all night on the phone, and like these quiet moments that like, oh yeah, teen romance, like the kind of crazy shit that teenagers do when they're in love.
The texting was adorable.
Like that kind of stuff worked for me in a way that, again, like Endless Love tries to sell that obsession, and it doesn't ring true at all.
Well, this is
Endless Love is very
this
glossy.
is definitely better than Endless Love, but because it's more serious. It's just the Endless Love was contrived. Every part of it was contrived. The fight between the parents was contrived. Here, the parents specifically Laura Dern, who plays Mother, I thought was quite good, and the scenes with her are good. I think you asked the wrong question when you asked him whether he cried. I cried like 12 times.
You cried in Hotel for Dogs, though, as I'm fond of reminding you.
But I mean,
That next to me,
and I think the woman next to me cried. But I mean, of course, this is look. If you don't need to have a child. If you see, you know what that's like. There's a aching for the parents who desperately want to do the thing that parents are put on this earth to do, which is take care of their kids, and then it's out of their control. They can only take care of them to a point. They're fighting something that they can't win against in some cases. So I'm aching for the parents, and her sort of, at times, stoic heroism makes me cry, and then just the tragedy of her situation makes me cry. But that's not a measure of whether it's good. I have cried, as you say. I've cried at a lot of shitty movies.
No, I asked that question though because when I read the book, I had tears streaming down my face, and I expected that to happen here as well. I was walking into it with a bit of dread, like, oh shit, here it comes.
Right.
And it didn't happen because there's an awkwardness to the staging, to the framing, to their connection, there's no chemistry. She can't have chemistry on her own.
There's a scene in the end, I just can't betray anything, but there's a scene in the end where Willem Dafoe makes an appearance. And like, it was just super clumsy.
But that happens in the book too. He comes back in the book too.
I know, but it's shot like there's a way to have a guy come to the thing he comes to without it being like, what the hell is this?
Well, speaking of clumsy, they kiss in the Anne Frank house. Their first kiss, and that happens in the book too. Their first kiss is in front of like applauding tourists in the attic of Anne Frank's house.
And that was okay, except I don't think the other people in the Anne Frank house would burst out in applause.
No, and they do.
I don't think when you're in Anne's bedroom, there's a.
And you have you have recorded bits of her diary playing while they're making their way to the attic, and it's obvious kind of parallelism. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
That was a little weird.
Yeah, it was a bad scene.
There were some. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, this movie is far from perfect, but I thought that there was enough in there, and maybe my score for this is higher just because I'm so shocked that I actually kind of enjoyed myself.
Right? It's not horrible. It's not. She's great. She's
I have
great.
one question because I'm seeing it tonight with the super fans. Does Shailene Woodley have Ali McGraw syndrome, where the closer to death she gets, the more ravishingly beautiful she becomes?
She looks pretty great the whole time.
She looks pretty consistent and terrific.
Since you mentioned that, Ansel Elgort is distractingly like a young Ryan O'Neal, love story era Ryan O'Neal. He looks just like him.
Plus, we have to get over the fact that they played siblings in Divergence.
Right, he was her older brother in Divergence.
I thought maybe it wasn't true in the book. I felt like the ending they go to, I thought was massively telegraphed. If you're a sophisticated movie.
That's exactly what happened. But speaking of the ending, speaking of the use of music, the alt rock soundtrack is super heavy-handed as far as telling you how to feel. And that last bit of voiceover, which also occurs in the book, you almost can't hear what the person is saying in the voiceover because the music is competing with it for our attention. Like they're both so loud and so insistent. Anyway.
I couldn't hear the music over my sobs.
Cavorting. All right.
I gave it a 5.1, massively elevated by Shailene Woodley, and Laura Dern's really good too.
Yeah, I'm actually higher than you on this. I'm 5.4 for those exact same reasons. Go ahead.
I'm janking this score. 7. I give it a 7. All
right, so our average is a 5.8. It's at 80% on the tomato meter, and I'm already getting shit from teen girls from my RogerEbert.com.
How dare you!
They're really mad at me. They're like, did you even read the book? I'm like, yes,
introduce them to the Batman fans.
Oh, I know. And the Christian moms who hate me now, too. They can all get along. Bye, see ya.